Above average, not good enough in global economy. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very relevant topic today, because I'm sure all of us are aware that with advancements in globalization, in technology, the best jobs that will require workers to have more and better education to make themselves much above average. And average will not survive. In fact, average is not going to make it anymore, an average individual, because it is going to require in schools technology, education, practical knowledge, rather than the kind of education that we've been having or have been exposed to till now. You know, we need to ponder on, or we need to look at the areas where we need to bring changes in school education. You know, today's classrooms need to be, we agree, dynamic, demanding, directed towards an eventual goal of preparing a student not through rote learning, but through so many other methods. What we learned when we were in school was, okay, make a single-dimensional model, use cardboard and use these materials and make. In today's time, we have to move on much more beyond that, where children are actually made to design cars, made to have this working model where they can see what the speed is, whether it can move on various kinds of surfaces, and then check the designing ability. So it's not what the children are learning in physics in 9th and 10th or 11th. It's actually applying those principles in producing things. We need to have our students equipped with skills, which the skills that are required are like systems thinking, systems to, what we can employ in school. We need to encourage their creative and critical thinking skills. We need to use technology and tools on everyone's part, whether it's a student, whether it's a teacher, management, anywhere, everywhere. We need to use technology and tools and collaborating, because man, we know, is a social animal, and we may have to make the best of what is available. So collaboration is another integral part of this. Now, which are the learning curves that we need to look at? We need to look at the curriculum, in-depth curriculum that we have in our schools. We are needing to look at the models of assessment for our students, the technological applications that we require for right assessment, and definitely emphasis on 21st century skills. What are the changes that we require in classroom environment? We need to integrate skills into instruction and daily planning. We need to develop authentic assessments for the students. They were supposed to work for a company which develops a packaging project. They had to manufacture a project, a packaging program. And as the unit progresses, they had to find 3 packaging options. Find the smallest, another option of their own design, find the surface area of each. This was done by our maths teachers. And another, find and develop a project presentation. And the final assessment was on the basis of the presentation done by the class to explain the dimensions that they chose, why they chose it, the difference in surface area that their project or the packaging project would make. And when given these dimensions of the shipping container, how were they going to decide what package was the best and what would provide, and the rationale behind their decision? Now, this was a fantastic way for the children to understand volume, area, depth, measurements. This was a brilliant way this teacher got the concepts of maths in class 7 and 8 across to the students. And that is what we talk about, using models, using other methods to increase the critical thinking skills, the application of the knowledge that they have or they learn in school. What are the challenges for a teacher? A, classroom management, group organizations. Now, ma'am has mentioned, with number of children, 45 students in a class, how do we give the kind of education that the students require? Change the classroom seating. You have questioning strategies. Work on them. Instead of asking a student what is the definition of something, ask how it can be explained rather than learning a definition. How are you assessing them? What are the rubric developments and the scoring patterns that you develop? Another integral part was the hardware and software training that the students get, and the time management and the planning of classroom transaction of the syllabus. So we need to include a balance of high-quality standardized testing, emphasizing feedback on student performance, that is in everyday learning experience. We require a balance of technology-enhanced formative and summative assessments that measure a student's mastery of his skills, and it enables development of portfolios of students' work. So the research component has been added in each unit. Give them a unit, tell them to do research, tell them to get together, use technology, collaborate, learn to collaborate, and then come across or come up with their research project where everybody makes a presentation. So you're increasing their communication skills also. What is a new type of classroom lesson, activity or project that changes the teaching and learning? We're doing it differently. We've tied up with a school in Shanghai, and through video conferencing, their teacher, while she's conducting her lesson on calligraphy and the pronunciation of the letters while the calligraphy is being done, my students sitting in Delhi are learning authentic Mandarin. Now, it makes the lesson more interesting. It's more authentic, the pronunciation, the diction, the way it is conducted, and you have students who are looking forward to a lesson like this. We have a classroom where there's one part which is online education happening, and then you have, of course, you can't do without the class teacher. So we have both of them integrated in a manner so transaction takes place. We have a program running in the school. The teacher teaches something in the class. The students can go online in that program, relearn and see what the emphasis has been, do a few assessment sheets, do whatever level they are at, and automatically they're being assessed. And the feedback is going to the teacher about each student as to which difficulty level the child got stuck. Now this is telling the teacher that either it was one child or whether there were majority of the children who got stuck at that difficulty level. These were some of the things that we're doing in the school to make the education relevant for 21st century. Thank you.